art scene in Plattsburgh, New York has reached a milestone. Adirondack Regional Theatre is celebrating 25 years of entertaining audiences in Clinton County. The community theater organization was founded in the year 2000 by Plattsburgh resident and former radio broadcaster Tom Lavin and his wife Pamela, a former music teacher. And a number of other people in the community helped form the ART as well. And I'd like to welcome you both.
Thank you for having us.
So 25 years ago, what was Plattsburgh lacking?
Well, Plattsburgh was lacking a community theater base. You had community involvement at the schools, but they were only in several months of the year. There was nothing at all in the summer, which is where originally Adirondack Regional Theatre came in to try to fill that void of doing community theater.
So outside of the schools, there weren't a lot of plays at the time being produced in the region.
No, there wasn't very much at all.
Well, your first two shows were Pippin and You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, both very popular musicals. How many musicals have you produced?
Well, we've produced around 100 shows altogether in our existence, and about 60 of them have been musicals. So, as you can see, the musical kind of runs in the blood of art.
Well, musicals are known for having big moments, and I understand the two of you had a big moment on stage once, even before ART was formed.
Well, I guess you could say that. Way back when, I actually proposed to Pam at a curtain call for a show. It was the very first musical we had done together. It was marvelous, and at the same time, it was very scary to put yourself out to a full house and a cast and not know what she was going to say.
There's one more thing that makes this day kind of special. Would you here for a second? Pam, will you marry me?
I was a lucky man, she said yes.
Did she say yes?
It wasn't a, oh my God moment, but how could I say no in front of all of those students of mine?
That's right. You must have known a lot of people in that audience because you were the artistic director of Peru Music Theater at the time.
Absolutely.
Well, I am so glad somebody captured that moment on video. I find it very funny how quickly you made that proposal almost before you hit the ground, and it's a delightful moment. So musical theater has always been a part of your marriage. How many musicals does ART produce in a year?
We average 2 to 3 a year.
And the musicals you put on have helped us come to expect some traditions through the years. For example, I know that just about every October since 2019, you're going to be putting on the Rocky Horror Show.
Yes. It has a cult following, so that means that a lot of people will come to the Rocky Horror Show and they won't come to our other shows, and we definitely get a nice wild crowd.
That's an extremely lively night at the theater, and things are quite spirited each December as well.
Merry Christmas, George.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Mother.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
You always have a holiday show, and often it's in the format of an old-time radio play.
We also have what they call Foley artist, which is a person that makes all the sound effects right in front of you.
Yeah, that is so much fun to see. This is community theater, enabling our community members to allow the arts to flourish in Plattsburgh, but who can get involved? How professional do you have to be, and how much theater experience do you need to have?
Oh, you don't have to have any experience at all. A love for the theater helps. We've had people who come to auditions who say they just want to be in the crew, they just want to help backstage. People will share their other talents for tech or sewing, and anyone is welcome, any age.
Get into your beginning position for time work.
I understand you seek out grant money and sponsorships to pay your musicians and directors, but this is mostly a volunteer effort for the people participating, so they're not getting paid, but your performers say there are still many benefits. During an evening of rehearsals for the Rocky Horror Show, we asked some of your performers and crew members What were some of the benefits of joining ART Productions?
I teach at Northeastern Clinton in Champlain, New York, and I actually didn't start there until 2016. I'd been directing for a couple of years already. So I was really excited to kind of see those skills transfer. My skills as a director, being able to, problem solve and direct actors has really helped me in the classroom with being confident in front of the students and working with students and, being able to problem solve as a teacher. So I've really seen a lot of transferable skills from me being a director and working with adult actors and kid actors and transferring those skills to the classroom.
We've been able to put on some phenomenal shows. Even just in the ones I've been in the last couple of years are remarkable. But the thing that really has mattered is the relationships that you build and the support that you can give each other and how it transcends just the theater and it really does spill over into life. And so some of these people are my best friends. They are the people that I call when I'm in crisis and the people that I'm there for when they're struggling. And so it's something that I've really benefited from and appreciated.
Well, it looks like lots of joy comes from participating in ART shows. And Pamela, I understand that you've had the joy and the challenge of being the musical director for several shows and later a costume assistant. Have you ever been on stage during a show?
Yes, I have several times. Two that come to mind are Annie, which I did with my daughter. She was 11 at the time, and she played the part of Annie, and I was Miss Hannigan. And we had a really good time being mean to each other on stage.
Because you were the villain in the show.
Yes, of course. Yes. And then a few years ago, I had the joy of playing a Mother Abbess when we did Sound of Music. My former student was the director. And there were several of my former students on the crew and in the cast, and even some children and grandchildren that were in that show. And it just felt like a real full circle moment for me.
Well, I can imagine the theater lends itself to a lot of full circle experiences. And has anyone ever joined Adirondack Regional Theatre who later became a professional in the theater world?
Well, yes, they have, and that's great. We currently have several people that are acting either in summer stock, off-Broadway, national tours, cruise lines. At the same time, we also have people that are on the technical side, the behind-the-scenes part. We have one person that's working on Broadway right now. We have another person that's working in Florida at a professional theater there. So yes, a lot of our people have gone on, which is always great.
And how do you feel once that happens?
It's unbelievable. To see how people can evolve. Sometimes we get someone that was super, super shy, and by the time they're finished with us, it's how do we keep you quiet now? But to see people come out of their shells and develop relationships and all that, it just warms the heart.
I can imagine. Well, how has the community warmed up to ART through the years, and how has acceptance of ART in the community grown?
It's grown tremendously. Over the course of time, the North Country has been very accepting of us. When we first started out doing small shows outside, they were there. When we moved to Clinton Community College for several years as their residence theater company, they came. But the big thing came when the Strand Center for the Arts opened the Strand Center Theater, and we were able to get in there. That was the ultimate. And our first big show at the Strand, when we did The Producers, was monumental for us. And it was great to see not only the people that had been with us all along, well, sometimes it was their children that were coming. Maybe their grandchildren were coming. Same thing with our actors. We started with a core of actors. We've seen their children and their children's children in it. So the community has definitely grown with us, and also the acting community has grown with us over the time.
Well, a lot of your shows feature children on stage working with adults, and you also have summer camps and winter camps for children where it's just the kids who perform on stage. And are they learning how a show is put together?
Oh, yes. Both of these are for actors 8 to 18 years old. They learn how to do a show. Sometimes they even can help us make the sets or the costumes. So there's that kind of education there.
It's pretty clear that the community values what you've been doing all these years. Before he left office, the mayor of Plattsburgh, Chris Rosenquist, made a special presentation on stage after your performance of Disney's The Little Mermaid. It was a proclamation thanking ART for bringing art, culture, and joy to our community.
For the work that you've done for our community for the last 25 years and hopefully for the next 125 years. Thank you so much.
That looks like such a proud moment.
Very much
Yes.
so.
So you have an official proclamation. How about an official celebration? Do you have a plan for anything of that nature?
Oh, yes. The plan is for a 25th anniversary gala that we will be having at the Rainbow Banquet Hall up in Altona on November the 8th. And what we want to do is we want to give the community a reason to celebrate 25 years, have fun, get dressed up. We'll have a dinner, we'll have entertainment, we'll have a silent auction, all things that we're working on right now. But it's a great way to bring back people from 25 years ago, bring the general community in, and everyone's there to celebrate what we've been able to do and hopefully set us up for the next 25.
Of course, the next 25, so many people are looking ahead. And as you think about the future and the history of ART, Pamela, what makes you the proudest?
What makes me proudest is watching the young people come through our program. People who might not be accepted at school, people who aren't sports people, people who get bullied in class, who maybe don't have a home, who don't feel like they belong. They can find themselves in music and in theater and watch them grow in their self-confidence and becoming a successful member of our society because we are accepting of everyone.
Well, that's incredibly moving. And through your work, you've been moving audiences with every show. And I'd like to congratulate you, Pamela and Tom Lavin, for 25 years of Adirondack Regional Theatre and for adding so much to the cultural fabric of our region.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And for our viewers who would like to get involved with Adirondack Regional Theatre, you may attend a monthly script reading performance. Any member of the public may play a role from the script. It's called a pickup play, and they happen the first Monday of every month at 5:30 p.m. at the Old Soul Design Shop in Plattsburgh. The next major ART stage production is a comedy show in May titled The Play That Goes Wrong, and the 25th anniversary gala is set for next fall. In the meantime, Adirondack Regional Theatre has theater camps for kids and programs training young directors. Head to adktheater.com for information about productions, sponsorships, and upcoming events.
Spotlight is supported by the Glenn and Carol Pearsall Adirondack Foundation, dedicated to improving the quality of life for year-round residents of the Adirondack Park.